This is Chilling.
Hello and welcome back on Chilling on a Friday evening as we slowly drift into the weekend. What a fantastic show we have tuned in for you. Today feels like an amazing day to be alive. I mean, it's a crazy day because I have an interesting guest on the show. It also feels good to be in your company. But before we move on forward, I would love to remind you guys that we have our partnership with a shoe company called Annex. Annex are located at Capital Center, that's downtown Nabugabo. You can reach out to them. And also better yet, for people that are staying in Tinda, I have some great news as well. They have an extensional branch there that is brand new with brand new shoes that are amazing. It's called A Test of Class. I would also love to reach out to Quasi Classic and inform you guys that this guy always dresses to impress. He's also located in Kisasi. Check them out. They have incredible outfits. You won't be disappointed. Yeah, I would also love to thank this amazing Fairway Hotel for giving us an incredible art and crafts location that is really creating an amazing background. I know you guys are seeing and loving whatever you're seeing in the background. Such an incredible space, and they have crazy art pieces or art and craft located everywhere. Handmade, most of it is handmade. All right, now moving on to our guest. Now, this gentleman is so crazy. So he decided to change, to trade his stethoscope to a mic. Which kind of mic? A mic that can tell jokes. And this has made him a household name. Ladies and gentlemen, now, if you haven't heard of Dr.Hilary, then you're definitely living under a rock. He is also the co-founder of an amazing hot place that hosts comedy, and it's called if I can pronounce this right, the how do they pronounce that?
The Laughing Marabou.
Laughing Marabou.
Yes.
Let's start with that.
You know the Marabou stock is the kalori.
Okay.
Yes, it's the English word
it's a type
to
of
mean.
A bird.
Yeah, the kalori is even more common than the crested crane.
Yeah. I know.
So it's this bird you see with the long, I don't know what is it called, the crop.
Yeah.
That is always, releasing white stuff all over the place.
Why that bird, the mango bird?
So we picked it because it's so Ugandan. It's so Ugandan. It's all over Kampala.
But it's located in,
but it's all over
crazy places.
It's located in crazy places. It's not very friendly with the people.
Yeah.
But you see it everywhere. You see it in bars. You see it on roads along Parliament. You see it in important places only. So we decided to call a comedy club the Laughing Marabou Store.
The Laughing Marabou Store.
So we're located in Tinda, and we do shows every Tuesday and Thursday.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. I would love to be there. I've never been
there. You should.
How is the scenery like?
You should. It's a vibe. It's we are Donnell's Bistro and Lounge opposite Capital Shoppers. It's a very simple place. Yeah. It's a cozy environment. The atmosphere is beautiful. So it's one of those dreams that have come true in the comedy industry because we've never really had a comedy club. And this is one of those places where you can go and get very good comedy. And also you don't have to worry about the quality of the content or, is it attacking? And those shows you go to and somebody's asking you for money, they're abusing people around. That's not what we do. Okay. So we want the cream de la cream.
That must have been a crazy decision for you to make. First of all, tell me, how long did you take biting on this idea and how did you put this to your parents? I mean, you are a doctor. Somebody cannot even verify this or they cannot agree when they see you in person. Yeah. Like, how crazy is this? So you are like a clinical doctor or something?
I did clinical medicine. Yeah. I went to Clark International University. And I did clinical medicine and community health. And I practiced I graduated in 2018. Okay. 2018, I think, December. So the whole of 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, for 4 years, I was working in medical clinics in Kasangati. I had a place I was working in Chirek. I was also working for some time. But then also comedy was sort of doing well. Yeah. So you reach a point where both sides of you are performing, but then comedy seemed to be doing better. And the progress was exponential. So I had to make a decision. And it was affecting my work as a medic, because clients would come looking for, hey, where's Musa OKELLO? Where's Musa OKELLO? Musa OKELLO is not around. He's performing. He's performing
because OKELLO, in retrospective, it's crazy when you tell somebody you're leaving a medical field you definitely didn't leave. It's part of you, right? Yeah. That medical aspect of you. But then you decided to tell jokes. Yeah. I mean, is there anyone that you know that is not famous that has been funny in your life?
There are people. I have a cousin of mine. His name is Innocent.
Okay.
He's one of the funniest people I know. He's a prison's warden.
He's a
So
prison's warden.
He's a prison's warden. So I think instead of performing for audience, he's performing at Luzira. He's performing for inmates.
Yeah.
But I think the thing about stand-up comedy is even the people you see on stage performing are not really the funniest. Because there are people out there who are really, really funny.
Yeah.
But they've just not taken on the opportunity to do stand-up comedy.
Okay.
So you know your friends you're chilling with and somebody is just really, really good.
Yeah.
But performing on stage, sometimes it doesn't translate. Somebody can be funny off stage, but then you give them a mic and then it sort of fades
that kind
away.
of material, but of course we shall dig into that later on. I want to know your childhood life.
Yeah.
Were you funny as a child as well? I mean, are there any relatives that can attest to this?
I wouldn't like to blow my own trumpet.
Yeah.
But I would say yes. My parents used to say I'm very stubborn, I'm always here and there. But even my teachers used to love me a lot in school. When I started comedy as early as 2010.
Okay.
You know, when I was back in Ginger College, when I was in my senior, that was senior 2. I decided to join the news group. There was a news club called Current Affairs Club at school. That's in Ginger College, in my senior 2. So I joined them because every Friday on assembly in the morning, they would read news to the students. So they read about what happened, prom, you know, or there was sports day or whatever happened in school. So they would read news, like journalists, you know. So I joined them because I also wanted an audience. I wanted to start doing stand-up comedy because I've been watching it and I said, I want to try this. But in school, you don't have an audience, so your only audience is fellow students. So I joined them and then I started performing on assembly. They would give me like 5 minutes on stage. So in those 5 minutes, you would script something about what happened in school and then you tell people and people would laugh and they'd be happy. So all my teachers were big fans of mine. You know, I would get away with the punishments. Because they say, OKELLO, you just pass. They cane everyone else for you. They say, Hilary, you go to class.
Yeah, because you're just too funny.
Because you're just a friendly person. So it's a good thing. And I started as early as P7. You know, in my primary, I was also doing comedy. So you start from there, and then you evolve into what you are today. Yeah.
So how did you know that this can be salvaged and become a real career opportunity for you? How did you know that? You know
it by... They say in learning, it's called what? The theory of learning by, I think, Bandura. It talks about how learning is best off seeing and copying. You know, it's best off duplicating, seeing what is happening and doing the same thing. So the people I saw in the industry are the ones who gave me the belief that this can actually work.
Let's talk about the people. Who are these people?
The first time I watched stand-up comedy, I was traveling with my mother in a bus coming to Kampala from Lira. And on the screen they played, there's a show called Night of a Thousand Laughs. Okay. It's on YouTube. You should check it out. So it has some of the best African acts. You'll find Clint the Drunk, even Pablo was on that show. Yeah. Okebakasi from Nigeria, Basket Mouth, all these guys. So do you know, watching a show for over 5 hours from Lira to Kampala, just watching comedy. Yeah. They played comedy the entire journey. So the whole bus was laughing for 5 hours. And when I got to Kampala, for me, what I carried from that night is I've never seen such happen in my life. Somebody holding a microphone and giving people so much emotion and happiness.
What was it about that feeling?
It was inspirational. It was one of those where you want to be in that position. And I told myself, I'm going to try my best to be like this. I'm going to try to portray myself the way these people portray themselves and see if I can make it work. And funny enough, a few weeks ago, this is how you know the world is written. The world has like written your story. A few weeks ago, somebody sent me a video clip of them in a bus watching my video. Wow. So he sent me a video saying, Hilary, we are here traveling. I think he was traveling, to Imbarara. He was going to the west. And I was like, but there's a video of yours we were watching here. So he sent me a video clip and he shared with me, and I just wanted to laugh. Because I couldn't believe that I started by watching people on TV in a bus, and now I'm at a point in my life where there are also people who watch me like that. So how does that make you feel? Do you beat yourself sometime? Is it a surreal moment for you? It's a surreal moment, but also it's one of those moments where you get to self-reflect and just share gratitude. You take a moment and thank God for what he has done in your life, but also you appreciate the effort that you've put in to bring you to where you are today. And it's a beautiful thing, because at the end of the day, the same way I was inspired while watching people perform. I'm sure there's someone else who watches you like that and says, I like what this guy does, I also want to do it. So if you're out there and you also want to join comedy, please, you can hit me up. I'm always here to help people come up.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it when somebody tries to create a
pathway.
platform.
Yeah.
You want to create a trail.
Yeah.
Or people you're like, okay, you're not a gatekeeper, but you want to really avail opportunities for others. That's a good heart.
Because the stage is big enough for us.
I mean,
do you know how many people are in Kampala?
The cake is big
the
enough.
cake is big enough. There are so many. I cannot perform in Kampala and Gulu at the same time.
Hilary, talk about performances. There's something that we are going to discuss when we return after this commercial break, because Hilary has got something cooking. And guys, you wouldn't love to miss this. So stay with us. Go and get a cup of tea and come back and watch Chilling. Don't move an inch. All right.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Maskari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
You're still watching Chilling on UBC TV. Now, if you're watching this show and you've just tuned in, just prepare to be triggered, because this gentleman is so hilarious. Uganda's finest stand-up comedian Dr. Hilary is back with part 2 of his mash hit show, Uganda Must Laugh. That will be going down at National Theatre here in Kampala. It's a night of side-splitting comedy. 100% of it is in English and perfect for the whole family and an entire crew. Just come with your laughters, just come and have fun and unwind and get to socialize and get to notice what they call great content of comedy. Hilary, congratulations first of all, my man.
Tonight, I know those of you who are watching, you're asking yourself, how comes you're on TV?
Are you teleporting?
But you are performing also.
Yes. No, but hey, you have to be there as early as 7:30, right?
As early as 7:30.
The gates will be open.
The gates will be open. Show kicks off at 8 p.m. Yeah. That is tonight, 13th June, Friday.
It's not the first time that you've had a show at National Theatre. This is actually going to be like the 3rd edition?
It's
Fourth, third.
Let me see. The first show I did was called in 2022 was called Laugh at My People.
Okay.
Then
so the first one was Laugh at My People.
Yeah.
So now you're laughing at what?
I finished laughing at my people. So now I said I can't laugh alone. Now Uganda, we must laugh.
We must laugh. Okay, so is this predominantly concentrated on a certain demographic? Like, for example, when you first say Laugh at My People. So
yes.
this is hailing you back to later and how you grew up and that surrounding.
Yes.
The concept.
So Laugh at My People was the show I wrote in 2022. It was mostly about my story growing up in Lira and being a northerner in Kampala, all of those. So most of that content is on YouTube, but I've not put it as a whole show, but I'll be uploading the whole show soon. Then 2024.
Oh, there's one I just saw on YouTube, the one of 52 minutes.
That's Uganda Must Laugh March. The one I did in March. It was the full show, yes.
Okay, fantastic.
So that's the full show. So I've started releasing.
That it's really picking up traction.
Yes, so I've started releasing full shows. Then after Laugh at My People, I did Funny on Purpose. That was Funny on Purpose was 2024, I think. No, 2023. I did Funny on Purpose. And then now this year I said I'm going to do 3 shows. And I'm going to call them Uganda Must Laugh, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So part 1 was in March. We had a full house at the National Theatre, and it was a very exciting show, and it did well. And there are many jokes I did. The jokes I did about traffic in Kampala, about traffic officers, you know, the fire department. There's a lot of jokes I did that did very well for that show.
Fire ban,
Yeah,
never
please don't play with fire.
Hilary,
that
so,
joke was good.
of course, somebody might think you're bragging, but you can blow your own trumpet if you feel like this show is kind of doing well. It's going to do well. The numbers are there. The sales have been made. Okay, so what more can you tell them? Those that are just going there right now.
For those who are going right now, actually, you can. Do we have a repeat of this show? Does it air again?
Yeah, okay. So it airs in a different time zone.
In a different,
like Monday.
Like Monday.
Tuesday. It repeats Tuesday at 11 a.m.
At 11 a.m.
No, good time.
No, so you can first rush for my show. Then Monday 11 a.m. you rewatch this one. Because now you are here, yet we want you.
No, but hey, the message is simple and clear. We're going to be running a promo before this. We shall raise the awareness.
No,
but yeah, in case you're just watching this, please go right now at the National Theatre and turn up for this brother. And you have to be a fan of Hilary. How does it make you feel like if you approach a person randomly and they say, man, I love your jokes. You're original, you're this and that, you're authentic. And I feel like what I just told you when I just met you right now, that with you, I think in a trajectory of just 3 years, you're like a trailblazer. And not only a Ugandan trailblazer, on an African level. You know, we're talking about the big sharks of comedy. And you are there. The reason why I like it that you're authentic and original. Whatever you say is also not regurgitated. You're not the kind that I know you're not going to repeat your jokes tonight, right? The ones that you said in March.
Those ones are done.
So you see, and that is very rare. And let's talk about material. How do you come up with material?
The best jokes are those you experience.
Okay.
And the beauty about writing about your experiences is you're always experiencing things, so you can never run out of content per se. So I'll give you an example. In the previous show in March, Uganda Must Laugh, I did a joke about my first time in a business class in a plane, and it was genuinely my first time in business class with Uganda Airlines, and I wrote about that experience. Now, so people will call you and say, hey, but OKELLO, is it true? You're like, it is true. You go and ask them. So I even drive this. There's an old car that I drive. And I talked about the car at the show. And people were laughing. But then somebody meets you in person. They're like, hey, OKELLO, this is actually your car. I'm like, yes.
No, but then doesn't it affect your life personally? Because I know of one of the greatest comedians on this planet, Kevin Hart. But 90% of what he says on stage, and these shows have sold out. It's fiction. Like about his son, him slapping his son, and the son asking for a Wi-Fi password. You've seen most of his specials. But doesn't this like affect your personal life? Like, isn't it so approaching when you tell exactly what you've been through or what is you're experiencing personally?
Okay, so when I say you talk about your experience, is you get an experience that you've had and you find the humor in it, but of course you keep things that are private to yourself. So if I'll give an example, if I found myself in a situation where, let's say, and I like talking about things that happen in Uganda, so that people can actually relate with what you've gone through, right? I'll give an example. There's this gentleman who was, a few months ago, there was a fire in Kampala, and there's a gentleman who was hanging up on the building, and I saw that video.
Like a jumper.
No, but there was actually a fire, but he didn't know now how to escape. So when I saw the video, it's a sad thing, but I started laughing. Because in my mind, I was like, where are people? People should come and help this guy. So when I see that, that's an experience for me. So I'll sit down and I'll script something that recognizes that as an issue in the country. So when you talk about jokes like that, people will say, man, I've never even had anyone do a joke about fire and all of this. But it's because people don't want to write about those experiences, yet they're real experiences, right? So you write about that. When I write about jokes about growing up in a poor family, it's because you grew up in a poor family. So I tell people that you see in the poor people's homes, you cannot trust anything that is in the house. You find a container written on sugar, but inside there is cooking oil. But these are genuine things, because when you go to people's homes, you'll find tea leaves, but it's not tea leaves which is inside. Somebody has a container for biscuits, but you open it has salt inside. So these are genuine experiences that you have, but because you keep talking about them, you can never run out of content. So material is always there.
Okay, so when you talk about that in that aspect, that means you have to be a bit older. So that means the older you're getting, the more...
The better.
Oh, wow.
The better you get.
That's amazing if you look at it that way. So also we have to tick the box that your comedy is genuine.
Thank you.
That's one thing for sure. Hilary, what is there to laugh about Uganda? Don't you live with us? Look at the economy.
There's a lot.
Look at how people stress to get money.
There's a lot.
Look at the political trajectory.
Now, that is where that's where the best comedy
what is there to laugh at?
That's even where now the best comedy is.
Okay.
That's where the best have you realized that the funniest people you meet are people you meet in ghettos, in random places. You never meet funny people in Kololo or Muyenga. No, you go to Kasokoso, go to Kalerwe. You go to Lira, there's a place called Akonkori. Those places, that is where you find people.
Because those people are unconventional?
They have problems. Where there's problems, there's humor.
There's humor.
So those are the best places to find humor. So Uganda is one place where you cannot sleep without something happening. Okay. So right now what is trending is the EPS. The express penalty scheme. Man. So now that's something I've also prepared for my show on Friday. Because everybody's talking about it.
You have to talk about that.
So you have to talk about it. Yeah.
And also the relevance.
The relevance
also matters to
matters, yes.
I mean, talk about things that are happening.
Because people want to hear what comedic angle you have for that.
I would have told you to tell us some of that material, but we have to wait for them to show up today.
13th Friday.
Today,
yes.
Show up in the theater and you hear what we're talking about. I mean, this guy is everything. So Hilary, check this out. With your permission, we're going to give them an allowance to check out some of your material.
It's fine.
So we're going to play a long clip. Trust me, it won't be more than 5 minutes. So that they stay watching as you show up another week.
That is fine.
We still discuss
we have a longer conversation.
All right.
But let's clap for the police, ladies and gentlemen. For those of the police officers who are doing the right thing. Another department I've always been interested in is the fire brigade. Madam, do you know the fire brigade? If this building starts burning, who do we call? The fire brigade. Do they answer? That is the question. I have ever been in a situation where we had to call fire brigade, and I'm here to tell you, those people are never in a hurry. You see, in developed countries, you call fire brigade. There's a fire burning, like in the UK or wherever they call the fire department. It's like, oh, hello, oh, is this 911? They're like, yes, excuse me, madam, how can we help you? They're like, we have a fire here burning, there's a school burning, and everything is really good. They're like, madam, don't worry, oh, can you please tell us your location? They're like, I'm on Market Street. They're like, okay, we can see you right now on the GPS. They're already seeing you. As you're still explaining, you see cars arriving. One is bringing water, one is bringing gas, one is bringing what? And the fire is gone. Kampala, there was a fire. I will never forget. There's a time there was a fire, I was nearby. I came, somebody said, man, let us call the police. I said, you call. He dialed 999, he called police. First of all, Uganda Fire Department, Fire Brigade, the ringtone, the caller tune breaks your heart. You call them, then a caller tune just comes on. Please don't play with fire. Fire burns, fire burns. Please don't play with fire. Muliro, muliro, muliro. Then they answer the phone. Hello? You're like, yes, Afande. Now for you, you know it's an emergency. You are in a hurry. Afande, we are here. People are dying. The fire is mad. You first calm down. That is what I'm trying to do. But Afande, people are dying. Are you the one dying? Said, I'm not the one. Then you talk to me. You don't even greet. Who has time to greet you? Like, I cannot greet you, I don't have time. Like, you first greet, what is your name? Like, my name is Ogwal John Mary. All those men who have two names. My name is Ogwal John Mary. Ogwal John Mary. Can I call you Mr. or Mrs.? Said, call me Mr. Yeah, I just have to confirm. So how old are you? But Afande, people are burning. I told you, are you the one burning? He said, I'm not exactly. How old are you? I'm 32, okay. Are you married? Afande, how is this important? People are dying. Said, my brother, I have to fill this form. If I don't fill the form, they will chase me from my job. If they chase me, will you pay school fees for my children?
Who was some of the people that you looked
Chilling.
up to in this field? Let's say in the field of entertainment in general.
If I limit it to stand-up in Uganda first, the people I look up to the most, and I've met them a couple of times and I've worked with them, are people like Salvador. Salvador has helped me.
He's a good guy.
He's a very good guy. As a person, I know him as a friend. We've done so many shows together.
It is not like in America. You people, I watched the video on Facebook. I was also confused. When I watched the video on Facebook, this Muzungu entered the supermarket. She picked items, put them in the trolley, and then started moving out without paying. Isn't that the definition of a thief, my brother? As she was moving out, the security guard, who was a black man, was like, "Excuse me, madam, you gotta pay for that. You can't just leave."